We are here at Saab Owners Convention in Portland, Oregon, and below me here we have two amazing things happening. Down here is a Saab Quantum 4 and we have a two-stroke Saab 92. Both of these cars currently do not run, so as you can see, we have a bit of a mechanics contest going on to get both of these cars to run. There's a whole lot more going on today, so let's go ahead, walk around, check it out. So the Saab Quantum 4 is an incredibly special automobile. There's just so many cool things about this. You can see the motor in there. Rear-wheel drive setup, of course, just true race car. Take a look at this thing. In the front here, you can see the Quantum 4 badge. There's also one around back, and this thing almost looks like an old, just standard race car. You would have no idea this was a Saab if it wasn't here. So we might get lucky later and be able to catch both these cars when they get them running. I have full confidence that these vintage Saab experts will be able to accomplish that. But this, again, 1954 92 two-cylinder two-stroke. So most of the vintage Saabs are three-cylinder two-strokes or V4s. This is even before that, when it was just a two-cylinder two-stroke. So you can see they have it up in the air. They're beginning to do some work on it, some diagnosis. Take a look in there at that motor. Just a little behind the scenes here inside the hotel. We have our registration. There's a bunch of ballrooms around here where people are selling parts, for example. Every year Rocky Mountain Saab Club puts on these photo contests. So for example, this is the fleet category. Take photos of your entire fleet and put it onto a poster. Here's a selfie category, and then there's also an impressionistic category. So there's lots of cool photos that get voted on, and a winner is chosen at the awards dinner tonight. Also at the awards dinner tonight, they will be announcing the winners of People's Choice, Concourse, and some other individual awards that they like to do. I want to be quiet going in here because Jerry Danner is doing a presentation right now, but this is one of the ballrooms where they're rebuilding a 900 transmission.
This is barely, not even worn at all. This is beautiful, okay? I mean, normally you see the oiling grooves, cut the brass right there. Normally when these are worn out, when it's popping out of gear, it's beyond those. The brass is gone, you know, and so you just got a good 16th inch plate.
They're actually raffling it off. So if you're at the convention, you can pay $50 to enter to win a freshly rebuilt 900 transmission. Super cool. Half the proceeds will be going to the museum and half the proceeds will be going to SCNA. So super generous of Jerry Danner, Rocky Mountain Saab Club, and everyone that's involved with that to not only rebuild a 900 transmission and provide an excellent learning opportunity for everyone, but also help out the club and the museum. A little piece of personal news I'd like to share is that I was actually voted to the board of directors yesterday, which is super cool. It's an honor to be on the SCNA board. I'm really looking forward to being a part of that in the future. So super excited about that, and thank you to everyone who nominated me and voted for me to be on that. It's truly an honor. Over here we have Carl and Jake are judging this 9.3 combi for the Concourse. For those who don't know, Concourse is essentially a competition where your car is supposed to be as close to factory as possible, as close to when it came and was bought off the showroom floor. I mean, these guys get extraordinarily detailed. We're not just talking about making sure it has the correct wheels, the correct interior, no modifications, things like that. We're even talking down to the brand of tire that's on the car. So you basically get scored from 0 to 100. There's 10 different categories. So any little wear, damage, paint fade, etc., all costs you points. So it's essentially impossible to get a 100, but you can see they are well at work here, just checking the condition of the door panels, for example, looking for any sort of damage. It's really a neat process to watch them, and you really have to know these cars like the back of your hand to be a good Concourse judge. Coming out to the show field here, we have a whole swath of Viggens, all different kinds. You might remember if you watched the last video, we only had a couple lightning blues, but as I mentioned, Saturday, of course, is the big day. So I see 6 right here, plus a black one back over there with the flag. I see a gray convertible, and it looks like we have a couple 97Xs sitting right here as well. This one is a 4.2, which is affectionately the base model 97X, or the smallest motor offered, whereas here we have the Aero, which was the top of the line. And you can see between the two, cosmetically, there's not a whole lot different. Of course, the Aero has the bigger wheels, but body-wise, it's not like it got different bumpers or anything like that. It's really mainly the wheels. There are some other subtle differences, but it's cool to see the different models side by side, because how often do you get the opportunity to look at that? This is an NG900 finished in what I believe might be cosmic blue. Really rare color. It almost kind of looks like a Vigan. It looks similar to lightning blue. And so I bet if he threw some Vigan wheels on here, and especially if he got the Vigan bumpers, could really probably fool a lot of people to make him think he had a NG900 Vigan. But let's take a look at some of these Turbo X's here, because we have two combis sitting right there. A lot of these cars I covered in yesterday's video, so I'll try to not do as much repeat as I can, but this Turbo X right here has a pretty special looking valve cover job on it, and intake manifold. I love the Swedish flag with the flake. The green accents look really good with the DO88, or I guess it might not be DO88, but at least an aluminum intake. Really tastefully modified and a bit of a sleeper. Super cool. And here we have another Turbo X with a Griffin bumper on some different brakes and wheels. Stands out very beautifully. Look at the sort of flake that's on those wheels. The fitment is amazing. Check that out. With the roof box as well. Very, very cool example. There's going to be some stiff competition with the NG93s for People's Choice, so you all will definitely want to stick around later to see who takes that home, because we have People's Choice for every car. We have NG93, of course. We're going to be having the OG93s, NG900, the convertibles. The 900s is also going to be an extremely competitive battle, so it's going to be cool to see who takes home the prize. They do that for all of the models. This car did not show up until later yesterday, so I don't believe I got it on camera, but this might have my vote as far as the OG93s go. A bit biased because it's midnight blue, but you can see it has the Vigan kit on it. It also has the dark blue top to match, and it has the double Ys, which are the best wheels on these OG93s, and even better, it's a 5-speed. This car is absolutely immaculate. Lots more NG93s. Looks like we have another Turbo X wagon that's tucked in with the other NGs. This one looks like it has some custom work done to it as far as an intake and intercooler go. You can see he did some different routing there and got rid of the factory air box. So that's kind of cool. Some different wheels on it as well. 9.3 Aero Combi, the anniversary we talked about yesterday, the last 9.3X ever commercially sold right here, courtesy of the vanity plate, and just so many more. But let's go ahead and move into the 900 section, because we have a whole row starting all the way down there, and they've clearly bled into this section as well. 85 SPG with the whale tail and the louvers. Looks awesome, really cool. I love the decor panel on the back. Here we've got another 900 convertible coming through. Very nice example. I love the twin exhaust. Can't go wrong with the red 900 with the decor panel as well. You don't see many decor panels, period, but especially on red, so that's kind of neat. Before we head over to the rest of the 900s, let's go over these 95s right here, because there's some cool ones. This one has the Saab Mom license plate finished in the red. You don't see really many red dames, so this is cool. A cosmic blue 9.5 that's had some work done to it. Some different headlights put in, very subtle, but they look cool. Also have these rotiform wheels, which the owner said is extremely hard to keep clean, and I can believe him. I mean, look at how complex that design is, and also check out his fitment in the rear. It's very hard to get good fitment on the 9.5s. They tend to have a lot of camber in the rear from factory, as you can see on this one. So it's very hard to get good fitment on a 9.5. This one's on the RK2s, fit the earlier 9.5s so well. Beautiful wagon. Another Dame with some beautiful paint. This one is Marlin's that came up with us on the journey. You will see a full video on my cruise up from Phoenix. Did a lot of sightseeing, got a lot of amazing footage, and got to cruise with some cool new Saab people from California. So that video will be out soon, but I wanted to get the event footage out before that. This might be the first set of Klingon wheels I've seen here on this 9.5 wagon. Always a good look on the older Saabs. I love the Klingon wheels. A couple more 9.5 wagons hanging out right here. Let's pop over to the 900s. And actually, before I do that, I want to make sure I touch on the NG95s. This one from Southern California is an Aero with some Hirsch reproduction wheels. Just absolutely gorgeous. Looks like it has the Hirsch kit on it as well. A couple more NG95s. I filmed all these yesterday. This one finished in Java, which is just a gorgeous, gorgeous color. There's quite a few Saabs that have overflowed into this lot, which I'm not going to walk over and look at for the sake of time, but there's a good variety of 900s, NG93s, just about everything. Let's go down this row of 900s because there's got to be 30 or 40 of them here. This one has some really cool wheels on it. Red SPG. All of these are so cool. I love the directionals that are painted in, looks like a really dark gray with the silver lip to help get you some good contrast. Turned out very well. A couple of Monte Carlo yellows. One of these is an Arizona car. Actually, I need to find the owner to talk to them and figure out who they are, because I don't know if I've met them before. This one might be my favorite. I mentioned it yesterday. The Inca's, the four-door, the barrel green. At least I'm pretty sure it's barrel green, and the dual vented hood, which is extremely rare. Inca's on that one. I love the gold wheels that one has. A flat nose with an SPG kit, and it's a notchback as well. Another Monte Carlo yellow with the 16-inch arrows. Another car with the 16-inch arrows. I'm so jealous of that. And just so many 900s here. And speaking of which, here very shortly, we will have Jordan Pagano of Modern Classic Saab. He's going to be T5 swapping a car live here in the parking lot. So they're trying to find someone to film the entire thing. I'm going to try to film a little bit of it just for the sake of the channel, but hopefully there should be a full video up on that at some point. Here are a few of the 9000s. I love the Saab sign that they put up on top of this one. Looks like it's actually lit up too, because I see a bunch of wiring and it looks like lights back here. So this would be quite the thing to have in your garage. You know what, actually that's so nice, that's a living room piece right there. There were very few 99s in Chicago last year, so good to see some more representation from them. We've got a blue one, the Saabino, which has been converted to a truck. This beautiful 99 turbo, I mean the paint on this one is just gorgeous. It's so hard to make black paint look good, and when you see an example of a car with good black paint, you just gotta admire it. This race car, I did a short interview with the owner in the last video, so if you want to see that, check the top corner. But just so many more 99s here. This is amazing to see. There's got to be a dozen of them or close to it. And so there are 3 Sonnets here as well. They've all got the hoods up. It's so cool how the whole front end on these essentially comes forward, and it's just a fiberglass body, lightweight car. Of course, the entire engine in front of the front axle, but cool. Ford V4 in here. Look at how tiny that exhaust is. And so now we're getting into the vintage cars. So there is a 95 Special. There's a 96 back behind it. I filmed those in a bit more detail yesterday as well, but I love the patina on this one. And then right next to it, you have a beautifully preserved example or restored example of one. So it's cool to see the contrast between the two. But these 96s, 93s, 95s are all so cool. I think this one is one of my favorites as well. I mentioned this yesterday with the blue on white. Super, super cool. But this red one is Albany, Oregon to Albany, New York in 2021. Incredible that the owner was able to make that drive. For those that don't know, I believe it's over 3,000 miles one way for the convention. Really cool vanity plate on the rear as well. For those wondering, there are over 300 people registered, and I think they said over 200 cars. I could be wrong on that, and I apologize if I am. This is actually the Concourse section, like I mentioned earlier, so you can see some of the Concourse judges are doing their thing right there. But you can just see how nicely preserved these Concourse cars are. Engine bay is extremely clean. This one's actually an anniversary, and it's a 6-speed manual anniversary. So super cool just to see these original examples that are preserved for Concourse. This red NG95 is gorgeous. And I also, really quick, want to look at this Classic 900 with the dark green. I have always loved the black A-pillars. Kind of makes it look like it has a floating roof. A very beautiful design by Saab. A lot of manufacturers have also kind of started to mimic that in more recent years. A V4 that looks like it's in Concourse, another 99. This brown on brown 99 I showed yesterday. Brown exterior, brown interior. Really cool, unique spec. And then we touched on this NG93 a bit earlier when Carl and Jake were doing the Concourse judging for it, a beautifully preserved example. Here's another NG93, looks like they're busy judging right now with all gloss black. And then here we've got a few more 9000s. I love the red. There's another red one down here that's pretty special. The black, the silverish tan, a cool color as well. Another black one, and then we have the Topola car. So that was apparently imported from Europe. Topolas were mostly built for 900s to my knowledge, but it's essentially a camper that was then put onto the rear of the 9000, and it's just super, super cool. They've done things like added these cargo handles out of the NG93 to help pull the seats back up. 5-speed manual, just super cool. This thing would be incredible to take on a camping trip, although I would be a little worried about messing up the airflow if you're taking it on rough roads. But the turbo topper, just beautiful, beautiful car. This one might have a chance to win best in show, I'm sure. But that just about wraps it up for the show field. We've got a area over here for people to cool off because it is quite warm today. Very soon here we'll have the T5 conversion starting over in that corner, so I'll go grab a bit of footage on that, and I'll catch up with you all then. I'm gonna talk to some people and enjoy the event.
Nothing in the world could ever be good again. I've been nothing but a girl who really should be nothing less. Don't mess up and don't you tell us so how you actually feel. If you do, then they'll cut you right at the heel, and it hurts. No one can save you. It's all on your mind to change too. And baby, you can really try if you climb your way up. Do it on your own and you shit out of luck. Nobody will help if you find too close to the sun. 'Cause you're gonna get burned. Yeah, you're gonna get burned. Burned. Yeah, you're gonna get burned.
So we've got a giant crowd around this 900. Reason being, Jordan Pagano with Modern Classic Saab is currently doing a T5 conversion on it. So there's going to be, looks like we've got Mark is filming for him over there. So I don't want to get in the way and block the view, but essentially the T5 conversion that Jordan offers with Modern Classic Saab is a really, really cool upgrade. So he's literally just doing it right here for everyone to watch. And so I assume that we'll be able to find the full video on that at some point somewhere, but this is really awesome. So he had all the parts back here earlier. He sells a complete kit to do the T5 to a Classic 900. It's something I'll definitely consider in the future for mine, but really cool to see him. He makes some amazing products for the Classic Saabs, the 900s, 99s, etc. So highly recommend checking him out. I have some products of his on my 900. Jordan and a couple other 900 guys ended up doing that T5 swap, and I heard about 2 hours, which is just incredibly impressive feat. As you saw, it started up, ran great, and so now you might be able to hear they're actually going to be doing some of the rides in the vintage cars. So a lot of the two-stroke V4s and maybe even some of the 99s or 900s. Basically, anyone who wants can go for a short ride in one and get to experience what they're like.
tell us so how you actually feel. If you do, then they'll cut you right at the heel, and it hurts. No one can save you. It's all on your mind to change too. And baby, you can really try if you climb your way out. Do it on your own when you shit out of luck. Nobody will help if you're flying too close to the sun. 'Cause you're gonna get burned. Yeah, you're gonna get burned. Burned. Yeah, you're gonna get burned.
STNA is doing some really cool stuff. Because I'm a sponsor, they're giving me an award to give out to basically my favorite car at the show. And this one right here has not received one of these yet, and I have just admired it since the moment I saw it. So I'm going to give this to this beautiful 1972 95 that I've already shown with the, I love this thing. It's got to be one of my favorite cars here. So I'm going to put this down carefully, don't want to scratch the paint. Thankfully the bottom of this is plastic. And there we go. What a gorgeous, gorgeous car. I forgot my microphone, but take a look at this view, the shot of all of these cars up here. Super awesome that I was able to park my NG93, kind of represent the NG93. As you saw, there's almost one of every model and one of every color, it seems. So cocktail hour is about to begin. Everyone's gonna be out here kind of meandering about the cars, looking at them. We'll head inside for dinner and do the awards.
Next up is Classic 900s. Second place, Craig Howland. Stan Massey. And the winner, in another tough category, there were a ton of 900s on the show field as usual. Tom Remedios from Washington. And then NG93 Sports Sedans. Second place, Melanie Kinsey Lynn from Washington. And first place, Jason Robbins from Washington. Best in show goes to Kevin Wood.
So thank you, this means a lot, but what meant even more was the community that came together to help me complete this project. So if you received phone calls, text messages, sent me parts, or showed up in person to help me wrench on this car over the last 89 days, would you please come up and accept the award with me? Woo!
Well, lighting is not great. The SOC has come to an end. Awesome awards dinner. The 9-3 unfortunately did not win People's Choice. I was really hoping it did. I felt pretty confident about it, but we had a beautiful Glacier Blue 9-3 that won, as well as an awesome 2011 9-3 that won with some great Hirsch pieces on it. So they took first and second. But tomorrow morning, very early, we begin our drive back. Thank you to everyone who made this event possible, all the volunteers, the board, everyone. Hoping everyone makes it back safely as well, but that's going to wrap up the coverage of SOC. Again, very soon here you'll see my road trip video coming up to the event. But that's all I've got. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to help support the channel some more, consider purchasing some merchandise. I'll see you all in the next one.